Hi, this is Shayla Gamble, and I'm from New York City. I'm an online student at Full Sail University, and welcome to the evolution of cameras in motion. It is believed that the camera was invented during the early 1500s. Artists were the only people who used the camera as a tool to help them sketch scenery. They would trace shapes and lines. The camera would work by a light entering a tiny hole on one side of the dark box that was big enough to fit a grown human being. The light formed the image on the opposite wall of the picture was upside down, a scenery outside the box. Around 1660, the length of the camera was reduced to around 2 feet. A lens placed over the holes made the image larger and sharper. A mirror inside the camera reflected the image onto a piece of ground glass at the top of the camera. The camera obscura provided a way to project the image on the wall or screen, but this wasn't permanent. The artist still had to trace the image to preserve it. The first person to make a permanent images was Joseph Niépce-Nicephore, a French scientist. Niépce wanted light to form a permanent image in the camera so that the artist would have to trace the image. He exposed a light-sensitive metal plate in the camera and then used an engraving process to make the image permanent. In 1888, George Eastman, an American dry plate manufacturer, improved photography by making the Kodak camera. The Kodak camera was a simple snapshot that could be used by anyone. It held a roll of film and printed the pictures and returned the camera with a new roll of film in it. In 1924, the Leica camera was marketed in Germany. It is a miniature camera that was used in making motion pictures. In 1929, the electric flash bulb was also patented in Germany. 2 years later, Harold E. Edgerton, an American engineer, developed an electric flash, an artificial lighting. It allowed more things to be photographed in dark places. Cameras today have came a long way from the 1500s. Many cameras have built-in exposed meters that automatically set in the camera's controls. In the evolution of cameras in motion, Thomas Edison is often credited with inventing the first motion picture camera. In 1891, the kinetoscope, his ideas are an accumulation of many theories and advances towards construction of the camera-like device that captured motion. Beginning in the 17th century, the original of his machine is the magic lantern, an early version of the slide projector that allowed images to pass through a lens with use of light often supplied by a kerosene lamp. The earliest filmmakers such as Auguste and Louis Lumiere and Thomas Edison used the camera simply as a technical tool in front of the scene. It would play a single static shot. The motion and movement of cameras and tilts became possible as the early pioneers developed tripod heads that moved smoothly under the weight of cumbersome cameras. In the evolution of motion, the camera dollies is a film shooting technique. It changes the field of the view for the background, but not the main subject. Camera dollies was later popularized and widely used in many classic films. It was difficult for an operator to perform, as they were responsible for hand cranking the machine. The first crane shot can be credited to Alan Dorn. Alan Dorn trained as an engineer but converted to filmmaking in 1909. His vision and creativity helped him to imagine shots and engineer to build equipment to help filmmakers. Dorn worked closely with D.W. Griffin. The combination of Griffin vision and Dorn's integrity revolutionized camera movement. Well, I'm Shayla Gamble, and this concludes the evolution of cameras in motion. I'll see you in the future.